No, I'm not. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do you want me to pan out or zoom out, I mean? Do you want me to zoom out to see more of the lines? Let me, can you, the lines that the officers are on the left? I can't tell from here, sorry. Yep. Just don't give her the attention. She's just digging herself into a deeper hole here. But it is what it is. Yeah, go ahead. Copy that. Sounds good. Copy that. Yep. drive is full. Ag, yeah. Hey, L control. I'm out of disk space on my local recorder here. Are you recording down there? I can't get off the camera. Copy that, thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, right. Oh boy. Yeah, that's gonna suck. Dang. Okay. Got about an hour. Copy that. Oh boy.
Okay, folks, so if you are watching us here on Facebook Live, I'm Dan Rice. Lars Andresen is our pilot, and you can see they have gotten the woman on the statue in, at least in custody, I guess we'll call it, but they are holding on to her now. Obviously, she's been up here for several hours, keeping police at bay. This is all taking place on the Statue of Liberty. And you can see the two NYPD officers who are wired into the statue there. They have their harnesses on. They now have the woman in custody, it would appear. She had taken her shoes off before and her socks. Now she's trying to put them back on, it looks like. And I assume shortly what you will see is they'll have her in custody and they'll walk her off of the statue. And for her own safety, and safety of the others around, they'll keep a hold of her at this point so she doesn't try to get away again. Yeah, right? You can see the legs kicking a little bit. It appears she's trying to get away again, but these officers are going to do their best to make sure they can hold on to her as long as possible. We can see other personnel down there on the bottom right side of your picture. Looks like National Guard type of gentleman, and I'm sure Park Service as well as NYPD down here. And we've been watching here from the chopper for the last half hour or so, and she has remained relatively calm throughout most of this, it would appear. When we arrived, she was just laying on her stomach underneath that foot. And then she just calmly, on all fours, moved around the back of the statue to see where the police officers were, and they seemed to be negotiating, and then she came back, and they came after her that time, and you can see they were able to get her. You know, I see, I believe it's Curtis who was talking about the fact that the NYPD needed all this equipment to get up here, and really what that's about is more about safety. Yes, she was able to climb up here without the equipment, but for them, this is more about safety and having all those harnesses on them, so if something tragic were to happen, they would be okay, and hopefully they'd be able to keep her safe as possible as well. And it would appear now they're putting a harness around her. They've allowed her to put her right shoe back on. So now they're going to put a harness around her, so that way in case something happens between here and when they get down, she'll be safe as well. So again, if you are just joining us here on Facebook, you've been watching it for a while, you're watching the conclusion of a story that started here about, I believe it was 3 hours ago, somewhere around 3:30 or so. This woman climbed from the observation area onto the Statue of Liberty itself. You can see the pedestal there where all the officers and other personnel are standing. From what we understand, she climbed up the granite and onto the Statue of Liberty itself. And she's been here since then, kind of keeping police at bay. We saw the police just standing there waiting out the climber here, trying to wait for their opportunity to get a hold of her and be able to safely bring her down. Again, for her safety and for the safety of the people that are on the pedestal and below the statue as well. The Statue of Liberty the Liberty Island itself was evacuated out of a precaution, abundance of safety, trying to make sure that nobody else gets hurt and whatever may have happened here. Of course, NYPD doing their job, though, as they are trained to do, to help try to keep the situation and
Oh, come on. Okay. Thank you. Don't they know we're filming here? Oh, yeah, that's true.
all we can tell you is that she climbed up onto the physical statue itself. And police have been trying to get her to come down ever since. And it looks like now they're going to get that wish to be able to bring her down. So as we saw her before, she was very carefully walking both her hands and her knees, trying to move around the back of the statue, and at the moment looks like she's not going to change the way she's been walking around the statue. And again, that's how we saw her moving before when she left the crook of the foot there to go talk to these guys on the other side. Clearly, she is taking her time and being careful. So obviously at this point there is no rush to move her now that she is secured. And that's the thing, folks, there. I see the comments on the Facebook feed. We know she was waving the shirt around for a while, and there's a message on her shirt, but unfortunately, we can only get in so close with the lens. We can't read what the shirt says. So that's why we're not sure what her message is. You can see there's a message on the back, and we can try with our digital zoom to come in even more. But clearly, we can't show you what it says. It just doesn't read clear enough on the lens. Again, trying to keep our distance so as not to get in the way of the emergency personnel down there. Let them do their job and not make the situation any worse than it is. So Lars is just going to slide over a little bit there, it feels like, as they bring her around now to the left side of the statue. That's where all the emergency personnel seem to be stationed at when we arrived. Thank you, Kathleen. So again, for the safety of everybody around her and for herself, once they get her off the statue here, of course they will take her into custody and hopefully be able to find out exactly what her message was up here, why she decided to take this route to have her voice heard. Of course, this is the second incident on the island today. There was a group of 6 or 7 people who unfurled a banner with their message. Obviously, that one was a little less dramatic than what we're watching here. They were on that walkway we were showing you a few minutes ago. Obviously, this person decided it was necessary to climb onto the structure. Okay, so again, for those of you who are just joining us here on the feed, you're watching the resolution to a situation that started here around 3:30 this afternoon at the Statue of Liberty on Liberty Island here in New York City. There's a woman between those two officers, and she has been all around the base of this statue, the actual statue itself. She climbed from the observation pedestal up onto the physical structure of the statue. When we arrived here about 45 minutes ago, she was nestled underneath the right foot that's raised on the back of the statue here, and these officers have been trying to calmly bring her down without getting her upset or more agitated, and So far, everything we've seen so far has been pretty calm. As about 15 minutes ago, they were able to get her into custody and safely put a harness around her so that she wouldn't hurt herself or anybody else around her. And what you're watching now is just the officers trying to bring her down off the statue, down to the pedestal. And if you look close enough, you can see her there, sitting with her head in her hands, as the officers now figure out logistics of trying to bring her off of the statue and down onto the walkway of the pedestal. So here we go. Hopefully now they'll be able to have her get down on that ladder. Obviously there's a little bit of a gap between her and the ladder. And again, watching the feed here and seeing some of the messages and comments that everybody posted up here in the questions. But that's why they have the harness on her. So that way if she does slip or something happens, she has the safety of the harness that will protect her from falling off of the statue. Didn't get I guess this didn't happen for them today. And again, what's kind of amazed me through this whole thing is just how calm, from what we've seen, how calm everything has been. You can see as they talk back and forth, she's just calmly talking to them, and now it looks like she's going to try to make her attempt to get onto the ladder. We see that the officer on the left-hand side of the picture is standing on. He'll try to guide her feet onto those rungs. And it looks like they've been able to accomplish that. Now she is on the ladder. And you'll notice the officer is using the carabiner there. And as he goes down the ladder, he's just connecting himself to that ladder that's also secured to the statue's pedestal. Obviously, not taking any chances whatsoever. Yeah, something you got to keep in mind that we were talking about on the broadcast side a little while ago is you got to be careful of the wind up there. And if you look at that orange ladder off to the left side there with the yellow straps, you can see the pieces of paper on those yellow straps kind of flapping in the wind there a little bit. So the wind could have an issue, or it could be an issue as you're going down that ladder. So everything is secured to the statue just to make sure nothing falls and everything ends here in the best way possible. And you can see several more ESU NYPD guys, officers, I should say, standing there at the base of that ladder. Looks like our National Guard guys also coming in here as well. Obviously, everybody will make sure that the lady on the ladder there is securely on the ground. And again, she is still wearing the harness that the other two NYPD officers provided her, and they got to her over there by the right foot. And now you can see she appears to be safely off the ladder. And now what they'll do is